Headaches. They sneak up on you in the middle of work, strike when you're finally trying to relax, or wake you up in the dead of night. But what if I told you the truth about chronic headaches isn't what you think? What if the painkillers you're taking to stop the pain are the very reason your headaches keep coming back? Millions of people around the world live with constant, pounding, pressure-filled pain in their head, and many of them are unknowingly stuck in a cycle they can't escape. Today, we're diving into the truth about chronic headaches, what's really causing them, and the natural relief methods most people don't even realize are backed by science. If you've been struggling with headaches that just won't quit, this video might completely change the way you think about your pain, and more importantly, how you deal with it. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll have a clear plan for breaking free of the headache cycle once and for all. Let's start with the basics. When we talk about chronic headaches, we're not just talking about the occasional ache after a long day or a night of poor sleep. Chronic headaches are defined as headaches that happen on 15 or more days each month, lasting for at least 3 months straight. Imagine that. Half your month is dominated by pain. For many, this isn't just an inconvenience, it's a disability that affects work, relationships, and mental health. Now, the truth is, there isn't just one type of chronic headache. The two most common are chronic migraines and tension-type headaches. Migraines are intense, often throbbing headaches, usually on one side of the head, and they often bring along nausea, sensitivity to light, and sometimes even vision problems. On the other hand, tension-type headaches feel like a tight band squeezing around your forehead or a heavy weight pressing on your skull. These are actually the most common, accounting for nearly 90% of headaches worldwide. But here's where things get surprising and where the truth starts to unfold. One of the biggest hidden culprits behind chronic headaches isn't just stress, dehydration, or poor posture. It's the medication you take to stop them. This condition is known as medication overuse headache, sometimes called a rebound headache. When painkillers like ibuprofen, acetaminophen, or even stronger prescription drugs are used too often, your brain actually adapts to their presence. Over time, the very thing that was supposed to bring relief begins to backfire. The result? A vicious cycle of taking more medicine, getting temporary relief, then being hit with even stronger headaches when the drug wears off. It sounds almost unbelievable, but studies show that millions of chronic headache sufferers are unknowingly caught in this rebound effect. And unless you break that cycle, no amount of medication will ever truly make the pain stop. So what can you do? That's where natural relief strategies come in. And no, this doesn't mean just thinking positive or ignoring the pain. These are practical, scientifically supported methods that can help reduce headache frequency and severity without sending you into the spiral of rebound pain. The first and most overlooked factor is hydration. Something as simple as drinking enough water each day can dramatically reduce headache intensity. Dehydration shrinks brain tissue, pulling it away from the skull ever so slightly, which is enough to trigger pain receptors. The next time you feel a headache creeping in, try drinking a full glass of water before reaching for a pill. You'd be surprised how often that alone makes a difference. Sleep is another cornerstone of headache relief. Our brains rely on consistent sleep cycles to regulate hormones, repair cells, and flush out toxins. When your sleep schedule is irregular, your body's natural pain control system falls apart, making you more vulnerable to headaches. Sticking to a consistent bedtime and wake-up time, even on weekends, can help restore balance. Then there's stress. We live in a world where stress feels unavoidable, but chronic stress is one of the most powerful headache triggers. When your muscles are constantly tensed, especially around the neck and shoulders, blood flow becomes restricted and nerves get irritated. This is why tension headaches feel like a band squeezing your skull. Relaxation practices like meditation, yoga, or even just deep breathing exercises aren't just trendy. They physically relax the body, lower stress hormones, and ease the pathways that trigger pain. And here's something practical you can try at home right now. Temperature therapy. Cold compresses applied to the forehead or temples can reduce inflammation and dull throbbing pain, while warm compresses on the back of the neck can ease muscle tension. Both methods are natural, safe, and can provide fast relief without medication. But lifestyle adjustments are just one piece of the puzzle. Nutrition also plays a huge role in managing chronic headaches. Research has shown that certain nutrients can reduce migraine frequency, particularly magnesium and riboflavin, also known as vitamin B2. Magnesium helps calm nerve activity in the brain, and people who suffer from migraines are often deficient in it. Riboflavin, meanwhile, helps boost energy production in brain cells, keeping them stable and less likely to trigger migraine attacks. These can be found in foods like spinach, almonds, salmon, and eggs, or taken as supplements if your diet is lacking. Herbal remedies like butterbur and feverfew have also been shown to prevent migraines in some people, and omega-3 fatty acids found in fish like salmon and mackerel or in flax seeds help fight inflammation, which is a key factor in many headaches. Of course, what you eat can also be the problem. Some of the most common headache triggers come straight from the kitchen. Processed meats with nitrates, aged cheeses, alcohol, excessive caffeine, and even artificial sweeteners like aspartame are notorious for sparking headaches. The tricky part is that everyone's triggers are different. This is why keeping a food and headache diary can be so powerful. By tracking what you eat and when headaches strike, you can start to identify patterns and avoid your personal triggers. Now, beyond food and lifestyle, there's another layer to the truth about headaches that many people don't realize: the weather. Some individuals are extremely sensitive to shifts in barometric pressure, humidity, or temperature. This condition is sometimes referred to as meteoropathy. When the atmosphere changes, it can cause subtle changes in the brain's blood vessels and nerve activity, triggering pain. While you can't control the weather, tracking it alongside your headache diary can help predict when you're most at risk and allow you to prepare with preventive strategies. Mind-body therapies also hold a lot of promise. Practices like yoga, meditation, and mindfulness don't just reduce stress, they also train the brain to respond differently to pain signals. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, can help reframe the way you experience pain, making it less overwhelming. Biofeedback, which uses sensors to teach you how to control things like heart rate and muscle tension, has also been proven effective for some chronic headache sufferers. But as empowering as natural remedies can be, it's equally important to know when to seek professional help. If your headaches are sudden, extremely severe, or accompanied by neurological symptoms like vision loss, slurred speech, or weakness on one side of the body, it could be a sign of something far more serious. In those cases, getting medical attention right away could save your life. So what's the truth about chronic headaches? It's that they're not just random, and they're not always solved by a quick pill. They're signals from your body, sometimes from dehydration, sometimes from stress, sometimes from food, and sometimes even from the very medicine you use to escape them. The good news is, with the right awareness and natural strategies, you don't have to live under the shadow of constant pain. If you found this video helpful, make sure to stick around for our next one, where we'll dive even deeper into hidden headache triggers most people completely overlook. And if you've discovered a natural remedy that works for you, share it in the comments. Your story could help someone else break free from the cycle of pain. Because the truth is, you don't have to accept chronic headaches as your normal. There are answers, there is relief, and sometimes the simplest changes make the biggest difference. So what's the real truth about chronic headaches? They aren't random, and they aren't just bad luck. They're your body's way of waving a red flag, sometimes pointing to dehydration, sometimes to stress, sometimes to food triggers, or even to the painkillers you've been relying on. The cycle feels endless, but the reality is that small, consistent changes can shift the pattern. Drinking more water, resting better, moving your body, paying attention to food triggers, even simple mindfulness practices, they can all work together to bring real relief. But here's something to think about. Headaches don't look the same for everyone. For some, they come on like a storm and leave them in a dark room for hours. For others, it's a dull pressure that follows them through their day. If the same pain shows up in so many different ways, what does that say about the way our bodies are trying to communicate with us? I'll leave you with this. When your body speaks through pain, do you listen, or do you push it aside until it gets louder?